For this video, we're going to discuss another type of graphs called a line graph. So a line graph, unlike a stem plot, has two axes. This is going to look like the typical graph that you may have seen in algebra or math 1. So we have an x-axis and we have a y-axis. We're going to plot pairs of points, x comma y, and then we're going to connect those points with straight lines. In a previous math class, you may have learned that the variable on the x-axis is called the independent variable, and the variable on the y-axis is called the dependent variable. In statistics, our x-axis is usually our explanatory variable, and for experiments, it is an independent. It is typically the one that the researchers manipulate. And then the response variable, the dependent, goes on the y. Math books, your stats book included, are very nice in that they typically give data in order. The first column is your x variable, the second column is your y variable. Some reminders when we're drawing graphs: you need to label things. Right, so these should be labeled, both with a variable and the appropriate units. What did you measure that thing in? Also, you should be using a ruler to draw these by hand. I'm using a tablet, so my pen will do straight lines on its own. If you are using something that does not do straight lines on its own, you need to invest in a ruler or a straight edge. If you do not have a ruler at home, usually like your ID or your bank card works just fine, like anything that is solid and straight. We're going to do one quick example so you can see how this works. Let me delete my covers here. So we have an example where we have a survey of data from 40 people who were asked how many times a year they had their car in the shop for repairs. And then we grouped them together. So the first column is the number of times that they've taken their car to the repair shop, 0, 1, 2, or 3. And then the frequency is the number of people that have taken their car to the shop that many times. So 7 people didn't take their car to an auto repair shop. 10 people only had to go once. 14 people had to go twice, and so on. I want to represent this in graph form. So first column is x, second column is y. I'm going to set up my axes. And I notice as I'm setting them up, in the x column, I'm just counting from 0 to 3. I don't have to go very far. In the y column, I'm going all the way up to a max of 14. So I need to kind of count appropriately when I draw this. So I'm going to put my 0 here, and then I'm going to go 2 boxes for 1 because I want to spread this out. So come on, pen. 1, 2, 3, 4 will give us some extra room. So 1, 2, 3. I've got some extra there. And then I'm going to label this. This is number of times in an auto repair shop. So number of visits to auto shop. And then I think I'm going to count by 2s going up. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 would be here. So 1 extra. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And then this represents number of people or frequency. And now we're going to use this table. We're going to make dots. So my first dot, I'm going to do this in a different color so it's nice and clear. For 0 on the x-axis, I have 7, which is going to be halfway between 6 and 8. So my first dot should go right here. For my next dot, for one time in the auto repair shop, 10 people, so 1 and 10 puts me right here. For my next, 2 and 14, so 2 and 14. And then my last one is 3 and 9, so 3 and 9 is halfway between 8 and 10, so right there. So right now that's dots on a graph. I want to make it a line graph. I'm going to connect each pair of points with a straight line. So first point to second point to third point, and then third point to fourth point. And that is a line graph. All right, if you have any questions on how to draw a line graph, feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, I will see you in our next video.